Happy holidays!
And Merry Christmas.
And welcome to another episode of Steven Goes to the Movies. We are rocking some of our Christmas gifts to each other. Cynthia here's got on the shirt from RuPaul's Drag Race. I've got my Oregon Trail You Died from Dysentery shirt, plus these super cool sunglasses from Blade Shades. They got little hockey sticks for the rims, I guess would be the right term for it. And today we went and saw a depressing, terrible movie.
Very bad movie.
Holmes and Watson, starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. It's so weird to think that John C. Reilly could both be in one of my favorite movies of the year and now one of my least favorite movies of the year. And it came in just in the nick of time before the new year began. This movie is about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, except with lame humor, a awkward backstory that we didn't really need. The whole thing was unnecessary and not needed. So it starts with, you all know Sherlock Holmes as the greatest detective of all time, but once upon a time I knew him as just a boy, or as the new kid. And it shows him like going to school, and he like, his mom drops him off at a boarding school, and she's like, oh, don't worry, you'll make lots of friends. And then instead they all beat him up and like try to kill his tortoise, which was very unnecessary. I mean, the tortoise lived, at least. They showed that.
They showed it living, but then it disappeared conveniently from the story.
Well, I mean, because that was the end of him being a kid. So anyways, the whole point of his backstory as a child was to show why he doesn't love anyone and why he's such a good detective. Because by being beat up by all the kids, he learned to not let them in to his heart, and he literally sucks a tear up back into his face.
Yeah, that was weird and unnecessary.
I mean, that scene was amusing in and of itself. I didn't find that scene like stupid until later when they did it again, except this time he couldn't do it. But then what was stupid was how he gets all the other kids at the school expelled because they're all miscreants, and somehow the school is still able to stay open with one student. And all the teachers dedicated themselves to the teaching of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
It made no sense at all. But yeah, so that's the beginning of the movie. Then it cuts forward to him as an adult now, and he cares about his clothing. And, you know, what hat should I wear to the trial today? And he just fiddles around and ditties for too long about things. And you've got Watson, who's just like the doting sidekick. Although he's a doctor, he's also an idiot. Yeah.
That's what didn't make sense to me.
Right, and he's just the best friend of Sherlock Holmes. I guess the whole thing is an origin story, because at the end of the movie he gets his signature hat, and so, you know, Sherlock Watson is just the sidekick, and he wants to be the co-detective, but he's not ready. He's not smart enough, or whatever Holmes says about him, and he always keeps putting him down. And you know, and it's all about how Moriarty has escaped to New York, so to America. So clearly, it's not Moriarty who's killing people anymore, and the whole thing.
At first, I thought they were gonna go to America.
That's what I thought. I mean, they did end up in America, but I thought the movie was going to take place like more of a fish out of water. Yeah. Right? He's this acclaimed detective in England, but now he's in America where nobody knows him. Yeah. That would have made more sense for a lot of like the slapsticky humor. Yeah. Where, you know, they would have gotten into quirky situations that they don't know how to get out of, because normally they just say, I'm Sherlock Holmes, and everyone's like, oh, bow down to you. You know? Yeah. There was stuff with the Queen that was stupid.
Oh my God, so stupid.
the whole thing was just, it was just stupid. Like, there were people in the theater who were laughing at stuff.
But I was like, why are they laughing?
Well, first of all, they laughed at it, and I was like, well, why are they laughing at this? But also, like, I would laugh at something, and I'd hear other people laugh, but then they kept laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's not that funny.
Yeah, it's not that funny.
Like, it got a chuckle, but it does not get, like, a minute long of chuckling. It was very confusing.
Very.
You know, how there were so many people that seemed to really be thoroughly enjoying it. I like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell's chemistry. Mm-hmm. You know, this is their third movie where they've done the buddy comedy style thing. They had Step Brother, Talladega Nights. You know, so like I kind of understood what the kind of humor we'd be getting going into it, but it just
it didn't warn me.
Well, I thought you knew who the actors were, so I thought you'd kind of have an idea. She did not. She had no idea.
I had no idea.
At one point in the movie, I literally turned to her and I just said, "I'm sorry," because I could tell she was completely not having it. What is there to even say? You know, it was just garbage.
It really was awful.
It was just awful. Like,
from the beginning,
4 thumbs down. Well, okay, so what was the first thing that made you, like, cringe?
Well, when they threw the turtle.
Yeah, I mean, that was more shocking than anything.
I was like, oh no.
Not this kind of humor.
This kind of humor.
Yeah.
I know. And I told you I didn't want any drinks because I didn't want to have to get up.
Yeah, we did get popcorn, but we didn't get drinks. And I got the refill for the popcorn before the movie so that we'd have all of it, and I was like, so we don't have to get up out of the seat, because when we went to see the movie the other day, we kept having to get up and sit down and get up and all that kind of thing, and I just didn't want to have to deal with it. And I actually was like hoping that I needed to start using the bathroom so I could get up and leave to go do that, and it never happened. I never had to use the bathroom enough.
It was quite a short movie, which I'm happy about.
It was only an hour and a half. From opening scene to beginning of credits. I don't know if there was a post-credit scene.
Do we care? No.
No, I didn't care to wait around and find out, because I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah. Even if there was, I would have been like, that's okay. I've seen enough.
So please don't go see this movie.
Yeah, don't go see it.
And if you
don't go see it in the theaters. Don't go see it. If it ever
don't
comes
even
out on
Netflix. Yeah,
just don't.
And
don't waste your time.
If for some reason you do go see it, or you just can't help yourself, you really want to see it, let us know your thoughts. You know, if there's anything that you liked about it that you think we're crazy for poo-pooing.
I don't know what people.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like we wasted our Christmas movie.
That's so true. I would prefer to rewatch Mary Poppins, which I hated.
The Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, Mary Poppins Returns.
Those are big words, because that movie was deplorable.
I hated that movie, but I would prefer to watch that again. To sit through that movie.
The one scene that was amusing, that got people laughing the most in this movie, was when they did some humor about the American political system. But that was really, it was one scene in the whole movie. It was hardly worth the price of a ticket.
Definitely not.
Yeah. But let's quickly talk about some new trailers that we saw. We saw a trailer for the new James Gunn directed film coming out in May 2019 called Brightburn, and I am very excited for this movie.
That's nice.
Cinthia here, on the other hand,
I don't like scary movies. So
it is set. It is a horror film, and it's basically if Superman was evil. I mean, plot point to plot point. Yeah. The whole trailer, I was like, so it's Superman. But the names were different.
Yeah.
The names were different, and I was like, okay, so it's not Superman, and it's just basically if Superman was evil, and I think that's pretty awesome. I'm very excited to see this movie. James Gunn is great, and I think whatever he's doing is going to come out well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about it, because even though you're not going to watch it.
It looks interesting, but I can't watch scary movies. So.
Another trailer was The Kid Who Would Be King. I know I've brought it up before, because we saw the trailer before Anna and the Apocalypse. I did. And at that point, it looked really good. And then now this trailer that they showed today was more revealing to the story. And I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It looked like a very, kid movie.
Well, it looks like a kid-oriented movie, but I'm not against that. What I didn't like was that they spoiled a little bit more. Like, they go through portals and they go back in time, and then now they're all on their knee, and it's long live the king, and there was just stuff that I was just I'm not sure. I thought it was gonna stay more in the realm of reality, because the previous trailer showed he inspires his school to do gym class where they're sword fighting, to learn how to do that, learn how to battle with swords. And then now in this one, it's instead they're traveling through time and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It sounded very Harry Potter-esque
in the
beginning, right?
The opening sequence, I was like, oh, is this a new Harry Potter film? They even referenced Harry Potter in the trailer.
The music was very close.
It was very whimsical and magical, yeah.
So I was like, oh no, not another Harry Potter.
But Patrick Stewart playing Merlin, I'm okay with that. Or old version. Merlin can make himself look young, but when he's himself as an old man, it's Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
There was also a more lengthy trailer for Happy Death Day 2, which again is another one that we saw the trailer before, and I thought, oh, I'm excited for this. Now
it looks quite stupid.
Well, the first Happy Death Day was kind of dumb, but in a fun way.
I didn't see it.
I know it's a horror film, so you wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But Happy Death Day 2, it's they're retreading over the same time span, which at first I was like, okay, that could be cool. But then some of the scenes that they added into the trailer shows some kind of what I'm guessing is a time manipulation device that they're probably going to use to explain why this keeps happening to her every day, the same thing. And I'm afraid that they're making it a little too sci-fi-ish, rather than keeping it horror, and they're trying to make it more of a cinematic world than it needs to be. That's always what happens when you end up with a sequel to a horror film, is now it's now we need to justify why we're back in this same world again.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about that. Let me know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, if there's anything you're seeing or have seen or are looking forward to seeing. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
And not watch this movie.
And please don't watch this movie. And have a wonderful rest of your Christmas. And have a Happy New Year, even though we'll probably be seeing another movie or two before then.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to seeing you again next time. Have a wonderful day.